Hello and welcome to how I solo my level 55 Shadowknight. So this is no regard, my level 55 Shadowknight. We're going to talk about spells, disciplines, how I have my hotbars set up, how I do my multi-bind and all that stuff, and generally how I just go about my day playing this character solo. I consider with a mercenary solo, I consider, without a mercenary solo, it doesn't really matter. It's not like I can only have a mercenary because I'm doing something special, right? Everybody gets one. It's no different than anything else in the game. But let's go into spells first. So I currently have 2 life taps going right now. Life Leech from level 47 and Spirit Tap from level 55. Now, one could say it would be, there's the same spell cast time now. One could say that, I only need one of them on just Spirit Tap, but I kind of like the way this kind of works out, right? This is a level 60 training dummy. So if I hit one, there's a 10-second recast on this one. So it's kind of nice. Then it kind of lets me life tap first, and then so when I'm hitting my multi-bind, right, life tap first, and then I'm doing a spear as soon as the spells refresh. I'm spamming 4, by the way. We'll talk about that here in a second. And then it goes into Spirit Tap right after that. So I kind of like that, because if I put Spirit Tap first, it won't ever go to the next one, and I want the life tap before the spear. It's a little convoluted, but it works for what I'm trying to do. Then also next up we have Spear of Plague, which is our current level spear. It's just a single target disease TD. Does 444 damage. Then we have Boil Blood, Heart Flutter, Blood of Pain, and Dooming Darkness. Let's get all these up here. These are our dots. The majority of our damage is actually dots at the moment. Boil Blood does 67 damage a tick every 6 seconds. Heart Flutter does 24 damage a tick with a little armor class debuff. Oh my god, it's gonna close it every time. Dooming Darkness is our current level snare, does 20 damage a tick. And Blood of Pain is our current level poison dot, which does 68 damage a tick. Now, I'll get a little bit more damage out of it because I have my gear, my spells, and all that stuff. So the damage you see in the damage bar is going to be, slightly different than what you might see depending on your gear. So I put all these dots on. Most mobs, just depends on the mob itself, which one I'm casting them on, right? Like see some of them get resisted. Some are immune to snare. Just depends on which one you're fighting and all that stuff. So those are the next spells. And then I have Terror of Death. This is an insta-cast aggro jolt, right? I just cast it, boom. It's instantly gives me, how much ever aggro that is. And I like that because, one, I can move and run around and still use it. I can pull with it, and I can pull it off my mercenary with it whenever I'm using like the healer mercenary, and I can go back to tanking without having to cast any spells. It works really well. I'll probably have that line of spells all the way to 125 or 130. Then I have Comatose, which I don't know. I haven't worked on my abjuration yet, so it's just feign death, right? It's spell cast. It's, I think, what is it, like 70? We get the AA, and then I'll never memorize it again. Death's Peace right here. 66. At 66, we'll get the feign death AA, and I'll never use the non-AA version again. So definitely a nice thing to have there. And I put that in spell slot 9 because that was a new spell slot we got at level 55. Now, there are 2 proc buffs that we get. I think they're mutually exclusive. I don't think they stack. So we got Shroud of Undeath, which will... it's the one I currently have on. Here, I'll go ahead and cast it. This is the macro I use to cast my buff spell, right? It memorizes the spell, puts it in a spell slot, casts that spell slot, and then goes back to my normal spell. So you can see there, I turned into a skeleton because of this one. And then, you know, it changes back to the normal spell set. This just makes it easier for me to not have to like think about it when I need to do something, right? The alternate we have right here is mental corruption. I don't believe they stack. The later ones don't stack at all, so I know that. Mental corruption, yeah, it overrides that one. So this one, instead of taking mana, it will take, instead of taking health, it'll take mana. So it's pretty nice. I think it's like 100, it's 50 or 150 proc damage when it does it, so it's pretty nice to have too. It just depends on what you're wanting more of. Lately I need more health, mana, so I run the mana one. So it just depends. Then we have Call of Darkness. This is our current level. I call it leech right here, but it's not a leech yet. Eventually it will become one, but it does leech our health for attack, and that puts us, you know, at a almost 916 attack rating right now with our current gear. So it's nice to have. You know, if it gets dispelled, I don't really care about it. We currently have Malignant Dead is our current pet. I don't use the pet as much as I should, but it's mostly because he dies, right? Like if I fight a raid boss, he's probably going to die if they have any kind of AoE at this point in time. I also can't stop him from running into things when I don't want him to, and I'm too lazy to spam back, right? So it just depends on that. It's just a normal skeleton. This one, it is level 33. So it's pretty low level compared to us. I mean, we're 55, working our way to 60, and the pet is laughably a joke. Like, let me do this. Let me haste him. See if I can position myself slightly better, and then just send him in to attack, right? So he's attacking now. He's hit, what, that's 5, 6, 7, you know, at least 10 times now. 19, 39, 29, 37, 27. He misses more than he hits. Now, obviously there's some buffs that we could get, you know, externally to help that, like more strength, more dexterity and stuff like that from all the other stuff. It would help him out a little bit, but just not really worth it, in my opinion. But those are the buffs I use there, the long-term stuff, right? Now for my multi-bind. I play all my characters practically the same. All my characters use a multi-bind. This is very beneficial to key repeating multi-boxing software. This character's solo, but I still play it the same way for the most part. My hotbar is pretty much the same as my other characters because it's just muscle memory at this point, right? We have a hide corpse macro, which just hides the corpse and auto inventories anything on my mouse. We have snare as number 3. Typically that's where I keep it on all my characters that have a snare. And then we have 2 multi-bind buttons. If you don't know what a multi-bind is, you haven't been paying attention to any of my videos, and you should watch all my videos. But if you know what a multi-bind is, then you'll understand that it is taking a hotbar and binding every single key on that hotbar to the same button. As you can see here, everything on these hotbars is bound to 5 and 4. So keep that in mind going forward. If I hit 5 or 4, anything on the 5 or 4 buttons will get triggered in some kind of order determined by the game. Just because that's how it works, right? Inside the multi-bind hot button right here, I have attack on, pet attack on, pet swarm, and merc assist. A lot of the time I run with merc auto assist off so that I have to call the merc in so I can do pulling. It just depends on the situation. If I'm running around pulling a lot of mobs, I want the merc to just do its job and kill stuff while I, figure it out. So it just depends. But merc assist on will have the merc assist, right? Oh, let's see here. Where was I? So in the multi-bot, like I said earlier on, in the spell section, we have Life Leech, Spear of Plague, Spirit Tap, and then Taunt. I taunt on cooldown because all taunt does is add 1 to the at your current aggro, right? So it just makes sure I'm always aggro on the mob. So it's just, you know, beneficial for me to always be 1 above everything else. I don't really care about waiting because I'm by myself, 1, and 2, I don't want anything else to have aggro. So if it's taunts, it taunts. Doesn't. I also have my jolt taunt that will instantly grab the aggro also. So that's the thing there. We'll also get more AAs later on to fill that role also. But I have them in this order specifically because of the cooldown on Life Leech, so I can life tap on my first button, press, then spear, then life tap until those are refreshed. The damage is slightly different on these two spells, right? 210 versus 228. You know, it's worth it in my opinion. So watch, I'm just spamming 4. That's all I'm doing right now is I'm hitting the 4 button. If you can hear that's how fast I'm hitting it, right? I'm just spamming the button. So that's all I do when I play. So you can see Life Leech, boom. Then we're gonna get a what is it? Spirit Tap. And then we're going to get the taunt go triggered, and then we get another Spirit Tap, right? Spirit Tap is our filler. Life Leech is up, gonna Life Leech, boom. And then Spirit Tap filler, right? If you just think of this as little processes running right down here that every time I push the button, whatever one is up, it gets activated, right? As we add more things, we start getting AAs and stuff in there. AAs are instantly activated along with another button. So you can like activate an AA and a spell like literally the same time, the same keystroke. So it just depends on how fast you spam the button. But for the most part, my character can play with just these buttons, right? Now to do my dots, I use my mouse on numpad 1 through, what is that, 4? So 1 does the jolt, 2 does the fire, 3 does the blood, 4 is the disease, which is heart flutter, and then 5 feign deaths me because that's a convenience one, and then 6 just clicks my J boots for junk buff. And really at this point, but there we go. That is the kind of the hotbar. Everything else is like a utilitary. You know, all these are utility. All these different buttons to teleport me different places, you know, a DZ macro to talk to the agent of change because we do a lot of raids on this guy. Click our lesson for even more experience. And let's see here. We have potions up here. So these are probably worth talking about. In one of the videos I show where you buy these can be bought in the Plane of Knowledge at the Shaman potion vendor inside the area in between Bazaar and Guild Lobby. They are fantastic. It gives us a clarity potion, gives us a haste potion, gives us a HP buff potion, and gives us a heal potion and a heal over time potion. Very convenient to have, very convenient to use. I also have, so from when we killed Nagafin, I got the Blade Stopper, which is a shield that gives me rune. If I click it on myself, I get a little rune, which might be nice one day. And then also on the Gornair, we got a Prayer of Life, which is just a right-click insta-cast group heal for 758, which is fantastic. A nice little item to have in our bag just in case we need an extra heal or something at some point in time. All right, so that is that. Let's move some of this stuff around because I'm getting a little OCD from that. All right, so that is our spells. That is our hotbar. That is our buff buttons. We don't have many disciplines at the moment. Resistant discipline is terrible. Fearless has been very useful for the fighting the dragons. at 55, but at 59 we become immune to fear, so your mileage may vary on how useful it is to you. If you're fighting dragons between 51 and 59, Fearless is going to be useful for you. Otherwise, it's not going to be. Then we have Unholy Discipline, which is our only Shadowknight discipline. Just increases the base damage of our life taps. We use this on Gore and Nair to get a little extra damage out on her, because life taps are pretty much the only thing that lands on most of these raid bosses in most cases. All right, that is I think everything. Gear wise, like my gear is absolute terrible. The way I'm playing this character in this series is he kills a raid boss, he gets a Gouda cheese, takes that Gouda cheese, and then can spend it on whatever item he wants in the game. In my case, we did Frost Wrath, Net of the Deep Sea, and Keyring. I did my Jan's Veil because I wanted to try it out. And Jan's Veil is like probably one of the strongest items out of all this. I see here the stats on that. It's insane, but it's one of the benefits of being a persona. So it's pretty bare basics. Like I'm still wearing the newbie tunic at 55. I have whatever Defiant stuff I could buy because I couldn't craft the blue diamond stuff for some reason, and we just have whatever flawed Defiant and other Defiant pieces that have dropped from stuff. So I mean, it's pretty basic stuff, nothing too fancy there. So, but that is how I play it. If you want to see some gameplay, check out the Gnome Regards Journey series on the channel. It should be linked somewhere in the top corner, like around here of the video at some point during the video. And it'll show you, exactly what I do on raids and what exactly I do on experience mobs and stuff like that. I use the Cleric Mercenary mostly in raids, and I use the Tank or DPS Mercenary in experience. It just depends on, how it's going. But for the most part, it's been a successful little journey with this guy. He's not having too many problems, and he's shaping up to be pretty good. But if you enjoy the content, please subscribe. But otherwise, thank you very much for watching, and please have a fantastic day.